So I'm pregnant.
You think you know who the father is?
Of course I do.
You can't do this to me.
Why the fuck can't I?
Because she's pregnant.
What the fuck that got to do with me?
Because it's yours.
Put your gun down, Tariq.
You nearly got my mother killed.
You want to come?
Amber?
Tariq interfering in family business broke us.
My dad tried his hardest to keep me away from this. Now look how it turned out. I need to be on top. You can't kill me. Nothing can.
How do you think fans are going to feel about the ending of the show?
They kind of wrote it to where it's a little open-ended to me. So like if they decided to bring it back, they could.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. Throughout the entirety of season 4 of Power Book 2 Ghost, so far we've known Diana is pregnant, and recently it's just been revealed to Tariq that she is and that he is the father. Now with that coming out and with everything going forward, we gotta break down how it plays out for them for the rest of the season with the exclusive scenes we got coming in episode 5, and of course we know they're going on their mid-season break. We got to talk about when they come back, everything that's going to take place. I know a lot of you guys probably still think Salim could be the dad, so we're going to talk about that, as well as the fact that Tariq did take him out in the last episode, how that could come back on them, and Tariq and Diana is going to have to come to agreement to protect one another for this baby. And lastly, there was this new recent interview by LaToya, the actor that plays Diana, describing that the end of the season is kind of open-ended or up for interpretation in case they want to bring it back later on. So with that, we got to break down the episode descriptions for episodes 5 through 9. We're going to talk about those as they hint at the pregnancy for Diana possibly ended in a tragedy and the toll it's going to take on both Tariq and the Tejadas for the rest of the season. And with this being the last and final season, it's going to have a huge impact on, does Tariq finally leave the game? Is there a chance at possible spin-offs or a continuation of the story going forward if he has this kid? And it also is going to impact the movements of the rest of the characters such as Kane, Drew, Monet, even possibly Effie and Tariq, his relationship with Anya, all of that going forward. As usual though, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what other videos you want to see, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, before we get into the speculation on how the show ends based off the 6 through 9 episode descriptions as well as LaToya's interview, let's get into what we do actually have, which is the episode 4 or 5 description, Ego Death, that says Tariq is sent on a journey of self-discovery that gives him clarity on what his path moving forward must be as Monet fights to keep her family together. Now let's focus on that because we pretty much got all the scenes I think we're gonna see of Tariq and Diana this episode. So for starters, we got them of course at school. They both work at the candy shop and we hear him telling her, "You almost got my mother killed." So I'm pretty sure this is the first conversation we're gonna see take place between them, and we could see her basically storming off. The conversation did not go so well, but I'm pretty sure this will lead into another scene later down the line where we already got a sneak peek showing that Diana asks him to come to the doctor with her, and I'm pretty sure he accepts. Now the funny part about all of this is I'm expecting a conversation or two about Salim at the very least. That nigga did die for you in the last episode, and I'm pretty sure his death should be mentioned at the very least. Diana should find out what happens, and I want to see how she reacts to that towards Tariq, because we see she's still inviting him to the doctor. Like I said, she does believe he is the father, but he did take out Salim. So once again, that begs the question that the doctor asked her in the other episode: is she surrounded by the family and people to raise this baby?
I like to tell my younger patients not to get lost in the emotionality of potential motherhood. You really have to ask yourself, do you have the right kind of environment and family to bring a new life into the world?
She seems like she wants to, but I don't know. The doctor raised a fair question and she was kind of pissed about it. I also expect him to bring up Salim, how she know he isn't the father, how she knows Tariq. We expect that conversation to come up because a lot of you still think it could be Salim's, which definitely makes sense. And we all remember the conversation between Tariq and Kanan about showing how Kanan was like, "I never got a DNA test, I should have took it."
It was your son. I ain't never had no DNA test. I should have took it.
Maybe he'll remember that conversation and he'll tell her he wants to prove that the kid is definitely his, which is probably also why he goes to the doctor office with her. And of course, now all this leads to them actually being at the doctor together, checking on the baby. We see the scan and everything, but I also think this will be the part where they reveal what they want out this pregnancy, what their plan is going forward. And the reason I think this is because we hear Tariq telling her his dad tried to keep him out this life.
Dad tried his hardest to keep me away from this. Now look how it turned out. If it's okay for you, why ain't it okay for me?
Listen to me. When I was your age, I thought it was the right thing to do. I don't want you to make the same mistake, son. I'm trying to protect you from a life of misery, son.
But what we hear him telling her in the trailer is, I need to be on top.
I need to be on top.
Which is crazy to me, because the thing he values the most is family. I keep mentioning that to you guys. So I thought that this would be his way to pivot out the game. Now I know it's still mid-season and it can happen when the show returns later down the line, which we're going to talk about, but I think it's just wild that it says this with the description talk about him going on a journey of self-discovery, how he ends back up at truth in this episode. I just thought that he had choose the baby over being in this game. And also the fact that Diana's been one out, and this is kind of a big opportunity for her. She always said she wanted her independence, and now she has a gateway out the game. But once again, them being the parents, they kind of have to be on the same page of what's gonna happen with this baby going forward. And now this is the part where we get into speculation, as we have no scenes, no previews of anything for episodes 6 through 9, but we do have the episode descriptions that I'm about to read, and we also have the new LaToya interview. So let's break that down. Going straight into the episode descriptions, we have episode 406, Devil's Playground, that says Diana is faced with stepping further into the game or risking her family's safety. Now, with her being pregnant, obviously you would think she'll steer as far away from the streets in the game as possible, but with Tariq, like I said, making a choice saying he has to be on top, that this is his plan going forward currently, I can kind of see why she's making this decision, but it looks like it's not gonna pan out for her, as we immediately go into the episode 407 description. I can't fix this, that says when tragedy strikes, Tariq and the Tejadas are set on a mission to avenge what they've lost. Now, the important thing about all of this is in none of the other descriptions going forward do we see Diana's name, but we of course see Drew, we see Kane, and we see Monet. So just looking at it from that perspective, a lot of people think this tragedy has something to do with Diana and or her baby, and the fact that it says Tariq and the Tejadas are set to avenge what they've lost, a lot of people think she either lost the baby or lost her life, or she was sent away and she quote unquote faked her death. Now, why is that important, or why I'm mentioning that part, is because of the new LaToya interview. She said that they left it open-ended in case they wanted to bring it back, in case they wanted to do a spinoff.
They kind of wrote it to where it's a little open-ended to me.
Okay.
So like if they decided to bring it back, they could.
And I told you guys, I made a video like 2 weeks ago talking about Book Force and Book Ghost ending, combining the shows with Tommy and Tariq, and what characters would they bring. And I talked about Diana specifically because of her pregnancy. If she was to have Tariq's child, of course she would be a character in the show going forward. And I also had another theory that you guys didn't like, but I told you it made sense, that since the actors were so young, if she had a baby, if they hit her, she went away or something like this, and in 10 years they decided they wanted to pick the show back up because the actors are young enough to where they could do that, and then it comes out, Tariq finds out he has a child, and they continue the story from there. But you guys, of course, nobody wants to wait 10 to 15 years for a new show, but I told you that that's something that I could see them doing, leaving it open-ended with more to happen, with things that can continue. And this is one of the biggest factors, because like I said earlier in the video, it impacts all the rest of the characters and the moves they're gonna make going forward. Because I think one of the things that we're all looking forward to is the reaction to most of these characters when they find out about Diana's pregnancy, specifically Effie and Kane. From the Effie side of things, they got people who's thinking she's gonna go out her way, try to get pregnant, or try to get back with Tariq, even try to take out Diana like she did Lauren, because she's still in love with Tariq, but that just seems crazy. A lot of people even speculating she tries to kill Diana herself and that Effie will be the mid-season death for getting in the way of that, or she dies in some way, shape, or form. From the Kane side of things, of course, when he finds out his new relationship with Tariq, we thought they was gonna be on some Ghost, Tommy, and Kane and shit with him, Tariq, and Brayden. That never came true. He always wanted to kill this nigga. I don't think he's gonna change his mind, considering the fact we hear him in a trailer telling Noma just let him know and he'll take Tariq out. And he doesn't even care for Drew and Diana after what they did. We're waiting to see his reaction to this news as well. We know Monet is gonna be scrambling, trying to keep her family together. She forgives them, but that doesn't look like it's gonna go too well either. So back to what the doctor said to Diana all those episodes ago, does she have the environment to raise a baby? And with these characters, the way they're acting, the way the story going, it just doesn't look like that. So this baby and its survival is the most important thing to Tariq, to Diana, to the Power universe as a whole, possibly continuing. So we're gonna have to follow this storyline closely with this mid-season finale, and then of course after the break we're gonna get a new trailer. We're gonna have a lot more to break down. So overall, that's it for this video. You can tell me your thoughts and opinions down below. If Diana, if the baby survives to the end of the season, and what do you think their story looks like at the end? Considering that she said it's kind of open ending, it's not like a finality to it. I guess there's a chance they could possibly continue in the future. You let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. It's definitely going to be interesting to see, especially like I said with Tariq deciding he's going to stay in the game for now. But I did tell you guys part of the episode 10 description that I had talked about Tariq once again given a second chance to choose between life in the game or being free, and I think that might be the chance to where he's like, yeah, I'm just done with this. But if Diana and the baby will still be around at that time, considering what the episode 7 description talks about, the tragedy striking Tariq and the Tejadas, them having to avenge what they've lost, we have a lot to wait and see. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.